Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon here tonight with your Monday Night Raw review on Monday, March 15th, 2021. Ooh. Oh man. I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say, man. I don't know. We got Fastlane in 6 days. There's a pay-per-view that's, in my opinion, totally unnecessary, which I am going to talk about this coming Saturday on the Big Fight Field podcast. I got a lot to say about that. We got more nonsense with Shane McMahon. Excuse me. Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. They got 2 segments tonight on the show. We had a United States Championship match, a Raw Tag Team title match, and the WWE Championship match confirmed for WrestleMania. And Tom Phillips is already calling it main event, the main event of WrestleMania. He's already calling this match the main event of WrestleMania. And I'm going to tell you why Bobby Lashley versus Drew, in my opinion, you guys can have your different opinions, and that's fine. If you guys think this is a WrestleMania-worthy match, kudos to you. But for me, this is not a WrestleMania-worthy match. I take that back. It is a WrestleMania-worthy match, but it's not WrestleMania main event worthy, in my opinion. But we'll talk about it. If you guys have not already, make sure you go check out episode 2 of the Big Fight Field podcast, where myself and my brother, we break down the March Madness tournament that was announced last night. We break it down, we critique it the best way we could. If you guys have not already, make sure you go check that podcast out if you haven't already. But before we dive into Raw, I'm just going to get a couple things out the way that I don't really want to talk about, and it wasn't really important to the show, but it was Bobby Lashley opening segment, and that basically set up the main event tonight between Bobby Lashley and Sheamus. And we then got into a match with The Miz and Drew McIntyre, and which Drew McIntyre ended up beating The Miz easily. I feel like that's not much note to talk about. Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, they defeated Naomi and Lana. Who cares? We had Asuka defeating Shayna Baszler in about 3 minutes until Asuka was taking her anger out on Shayna Baszler. She was going to knock one of her teeth out. She ripped the exposed turnbuckle and was about to kick Shayna into the exposed turnbuckle, but the referee got in the way. And then Matt Riddle retained the U.S. title against Mustafa Ali. And that's the kind of things that you can get away. It's not really newsworthy or whatever. But so I'm gonna start with Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman came out. This was after The Miz and Drew McIntyre. Braun Clownman. He was standing in the middle of the ring, and he wanted Shane McMahon right now. So he calls out Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon walks out there. He says, Braun, you've been very demanding lately, and you demanded an apology last week, this week. I don't even know what you're demanding. And Braun was like, look, I know you were trying to say last week, and at the end of the day, you're just scared, and you wanted to challenge me to a match one-on-one, and that you're afraid of me. And then Shane McMahon's like, you think I'm afraid of you, Braun? That's what he said to Braun Strowman, Braun. And Shane McMahon accepted the challenge for tonight. So that was later to set up a segment between Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman. It wasn't really a match. It was just a segment later on in the show. But then we had the New Day. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods defeat the Hurt Business to become the Raw Tag Team Champions. The match was great. They had a great match for the Tag Team Championships, but I did not like this decision. I hated this decision. The Hurt Business should have went over. They should have went over and retained the tag team titles in this match. And now what do you do with Alexander and Benjamin? That now they are completely out of the tag team title scene after what I talk about next. I did not like this move at all. You could have had them defend the titles at WrestleMania against the New Day. Maybe you throw T-Bar and Mace of Retribution in there. Maybe you throw in a Lucha House Party, I guess. And then, voila, a fatal four-way. You can have a ladder match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And I would have had the Hurt Business continue a long dominant reign as the Raw Tag Team Champions. We did not get that. Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are now, the New Day are now 11-time Tag Team Champions. I don't know about you guys, but to me, that's ridiculous. It's a little bit ridiculous in my opinion. But they had a great match, and the New Day won. After the match, after the New Day were interrupted by AJ Styles and Omos. They were interrupted by AJ Styles and Omos. AJ congratulated them on the tag team championship, winning the titles. But then AJ was like, I was thinking, I really don't have much plans for WrestleMania this year, and I've accomplished so many things. And then Omos came up with a great idea for me that I've never been a tag team champion. And Omos got on a microphone, and I think he said, we challenge you for the Raw Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. And then Xavier Woods got on a microphone. He said, be careful what you wish for, but we accept. So it was official. They confirmed. They had a graphic for it and everything. We have a Raw Tag Team Championship match confirmed for WrestleMania with AJ Styles and Omos against the New Day, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. It's not the worst option in the world for AJ Styles to do at WrestleMania. It's also not the best in my opinion. I get he's done it all. He's going for a Grand Slam champion in the WWE. I do think he might have came up with this idea because, he wants to work with Omos. He wants to get Omos over as this big, large giant on Monday Night Raw. I do think that's why they're having this match. I don't know why they need to go for the tag team championships. It just proves to me and everybody that the tag team division is DEAD, dead. But, I think it should be a good match, and we'll see where it goes. But, like I said, for me, it's not the worst option in the world for AJ Styles. It's also not the best. So, we then had Damian Priest defeat Jackson Ryker in 2 minutes. And Elias attacked Damian Priest. He attacked Damian Priest. He tried to hit him with a guitar. Bad Bunny took the guitar. And Elias got in his face. He lifted Bad Bunny up for a power slam. And he got away with it. And he started to punch Elias. And Elias was retreating away from Priest and Bad Bunny. Then John Morrison comes down from the stage, and he starts a setup. He's complimenting Priest and Bad Bunny. Then The Miz grabs Elias's guitar, and he hits Bad Bunny in the back with Elias's guitar. And both The Miz lays out Bad Bunny, and they basically just confirmed in that segment right there that we are indeed getting Damian Priest and Bad Bunny versus The Miz and John Morrison at WrestleMania. I knew it was happening. It sucks that Damian Priest is not challenging like Matt Riddle for the U.S. title. He's not having a match against AJ Styles. One would only hope that after this match, Damian Priest is either competing for the U.S. Championship in a high-profile feud, maybe against a guy like Sheamus. But right now, they got him in this rivalry with Bad Bunny against Miz and Morrison. I knew it was happening. I knew it was happening right after the Royal Rumble. It was just when are they going to announce it? The Miz was not going into WrestleMania as the WWE champion like we all knew, and we knew he would be picking up with this Bad Bunny feud right after he loses the WWE championship to Bobby Lashley. That's exactly what happened, and they basically just confirmed that tag team match for WrestleMania. And then we were supposed to get Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. The match never began as Shane McMahon was doing hopscotch. Yes, you heard me. He was doing hopscotch and counting to 8 and then treating Braun like a first grader. Then Shane McMahon was being chased by Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman got a hold of Shane McMahon. He threw him against the barricade, threw him against the steps. Then he took a lap around the ring because Braun Strowman runs fast, folks. Braun Strowman runs fast. I didn't know that. Wow. My least favorite wrestler runs fast. But this spot, I will give credit. This was a very nice spot. Shane McMahon had the cameraman. He took the camera and he hit Braun Strowman over the head with that. He did it again. He started to beat down Braun Strowman. Oh, excuse me. He started to beat down Braun Strowman, laid him across the announce table, and gave him an elbow drop from the top rope to the announce table. And I'm like, I thought that was the end of the segment. But then Shane McMahon goes under the ring and he dumps 2 buckets of green slime all over Braun Strowman. This is your WrestleMania season, folks. This right there, that's your WrestleMania season. Braun Strowman getting dumped with green slime by Shane McMahon. Now, the match is happening at Fastlane. If we are lucky, Braun Strowman will defeat Shane McMahon at Fastlane, and it'll all be over after that. So, I'm hoping that's the case, and Braun goes over at Fastlane. As much as I don't like him, I hope Braun goes over at Fastlane, and we could just move on from this and let them do something else at WrestleMania. And then finally, we had Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus in the main event. Bobby Lashley defeats Sheamus in 15 minutes with the spear. And then after the match, Lashley and McIntyre, they have a stare down. And Sheamus distracts MVP. It distracts Lashley. McIntyre hits a Claymore kick, and McIntyre stands tall, ending the show. As it was announced earlier in the show, we are getting Lashley defending the title against McIntyre at WrestleMania, and at Fastlane, we are getting Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre. That wraps up the Raw review tonight, folks. I'm going to get out of here this Monday evening. Thank you guys for watching the review. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the Big Fight Field channel. We got loads of content this coming week. We had AEW on Wednesday, NXT on Thursday, Fastlane predictions, I believe, Friday. We got the podcast on Saturday and the Fastlane review Sunday night. So we got a lot of content coming up this week on the channel. So be sure to subscribe. Comment down below what you guys thought of tonight's episode of Monday Night Raw. Hit that like button if you like what you heard from me in the video. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. And I will see you guys Wednesday night for the AEW St. Patrick's Day Slam review here on the channel. So have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy.